I was all about bodybuilding until bodybuilding got way too dangerous for me. Hi. Hi, my name is Matti, and for the past 10 years, I've been all about bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding with all my heart, until I decided to take a 180-degree flip and become a triathlete. But wait, why do I have to be just a triathlete? I think 3 sports are not enough. I'm gonna become a hybrid. I'm gonna do as well bodybuilding as a triathlon. And you know what? I'm gonna do an Ironman too. How about that? Welcome to the first episode of Becoming a Hybrid. For the past 10 years, I've been doing a lot of bodybuilding. I did several shows and I really enjoyed to compete with other people in this sport. I love lifting weights. I love going to the gym. I love the culture. I think it's a lifestyle, not just a sport. However, in the past years or months, I realized that I gotta take a route, and this route was not healthy for me. I think this is not a secret that bodybuilding is pretty dangerous if you wanna become a pro in this sport. And of course, I wanted to become a pro in this sport, as this was all what I was about, right? I was doing that sport on a daily, and of course, I wanted to become a pro someday. However, I realized that to become a bodybuilding pro, I have to be heavier, I have to train harder, and this was a point where my body was telling me to stop because bodybuilding is dangerous in this level. We're gonna talk about this in a specific video where I try to explain why bodybuilding gets so dangerous and unhealthy. I had to struggle with getting heavy in the off seasons. As you know, as a bodybuilder, you gotta go into a bulk to get heavier, to have more muscle at the next show than you had at the previous show, right? And there was the point where I struggled a lot with. My body was telling me not to get that heavy. I was getting up to 260. That was way too much for my body and way too much for me to handle. I couldn't sleep properly. I couldn't walk properly. I couldn't even go to the gym anymore, or I didn't want to go to the gym anymore because I was constantly tired. And when I realized, whoa, if I want to go that route, that's going to be pretty dangerous and unhealthy for me. At that point, I got a road bike. And I loved my road bike. It was not that hard for me to start riding a road bike. I thought it would be pretty cruel for me to start at 250 pounds with riding my road bike, but it made a lot of fun. And the more I got into endurance sports, I looked into triathlon and competing in an Ironman someday. To swim 3.8K and then get on a bike for 180K and then run a full marathon, I was like, yo, I can't even run 5K straight. All right, I'm gonna do that. And so I decided in the past year to start triathlon. I decided to put back bodybuilding. I will still love bodybuilding. I will still do as much bodybuilding as I want to do and as much as supportive to be a triathlete. I want to become a hybrid athlete. I want to look good. I want to look aesthetic and have that performance to one day compete in a full distance Ironman. For now, we already started a couple of months back. We started, of course, riding the bike. We started with running and swimming. Swimming is a tough one. I'm gonna go into that in a second. When I started, I of course got a coach because I'm an athlete for over 10 years and I know how important it is to have a coach. I mean, I have the discipline to follow a plan, so that's why I know how important it is to have a coach who guides you and who tells you exactly what you have to do. Well, riding the bike wasn't as hard as I thought, and it made a lot of fun, but then I had to learn how to run properly. And boy, running with 250, 240 pounds is hard. It's cruel. However, I started to train for a half marathon as I always need a goal in order to train for something. I have a lot of problems. I completed a half marathon in 1 hour and 50 minutes. And you know what the secret was? I had a mustache. That was the secret. No, the secret was that I worked my ass off for I think 10 weeks straight. I had a running schedule and I got out. And the first runs were horrible. I had shin splints, I had knee pain, I had hip pain, and this was all because of bad running form and because of my weight. Of course, I lost some weight during the process, which made it easier over time. But what I learned is that running too fast, too much hurts your body. So I got a stress fracture right after my half marathon. Yay. So I had to pause. While I had that stress fracture, I couldn't run. I got into swimming. In general, the plan is to dig into all of these three sports, endurance sports, and to get the base endurance to properly start to train harder and harder and have the goal of competing in an Ironman, a 73 Ironman, or any other triathlon, right? So I got into swimming, and swimming is my nemesis. Oh boy, I couldn't even swim 150-yard lap. I'm not joking. I was sinking, I was drowning. It was horrible. To be honest with you guys, I never was into swimming. I never learned swimming as a child. I never did swimming in my youth. I avoided swimming wherever and whenever I could. And I'm regretting it. After a lot of painful sessions, a lot of embarrassments in the pool in front of all the small kids and other people who were swimming, I learned to properly swim a couple of yards, a couple of laps without stopping. And this was a huge improvement for me. Well, my body is not meant to be a swimmer right now. I'm having a lot of muscle compared to normal swimmer, which causes my body to sink. My legs were always sinking, causing too much drag, so I could not get forward and I was sinking in the middle of any lap, and this was pretty horrible for me. I then struggled a lot with keeping up the motivation, and I really didn't want to complete this anymore, and so I took a time off. I took a time off about 3 to 4 months from triathlon, and I got more and more back into bodybuilding until I again realized that I had no fun anymore in competing in bodybuilding or doing bodybuilding on a level that is way more than just normally going to the gym. So I sat down and told myself, all right, we're gonna do this. I signed myself up for a 73 Ironman in Austria on September 1st. We have January 2nd now. I'm already back into triathlon training for a couple of weeks, and this time I told myself I will not quit just because of swimming. And hey, I made a lot of improvements. and I'm on my way with a couple of tricks that I'm going to show you specifically in a separate video. I finally am not a sinker anymore. Now it's time to train my endurance in swimming. This is the first episode introducing you what I'm gonna do. I already did a video like this a year ago, initially when I started. I did this one in German. However, I wanted to do this video or this video series or my whole channel in English because I got to know so many people internationally who are hybrid athletes, who are triathletes, and I learned a lot from them. So that's why I want to keep my content in English for now. I hope that's okay for my German fans right here. Fans. I want to take you with me to this journey becoming a hybrid athlete. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to create. I'll try to upload one video a week where I can reflect on what was happening and where the challenges were. There are a lot of challenges already, but most important, I hope that I can motivate you guys, that I can show you that nothing is impossible, that even if the prerequisites are not as good as normally, that you can tackle any goal that you want. Thank you for watching. I hope that you stick around. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.